All right, let's get started.
Great. Well, I'm Robin Quinn, and I am going to introduce Kathleen. Welcome to Wednesday night, everybody. This is exciting. Kathleen is a doctor of physical therapy specializing in myofascial release and women's health. She owns a private practice in downtown Panama City, Florida, while also expanding her business as a leader in Lifevantage. She has been part of the fitness world for 35 years, personally and professionally, and currently enjoys Peloton and CrossFit, one of my faves. She's a military wife and mom of 2 boys and a stepmom of 4 girls. And she has been with Lifevantage for 12 years and has extensive experience with the products and the business. She can answer any question possible.
Thank you. I won't be answering questions like right away, but thank you so much, Robin. And 35 years, you might not think that's possible, but I really did start fitness when I was 10 years old. So that is the absolute truth. That's when I started. And so it's more than 35 years at this point. But my name's Kathleen, and I just want to thank you all for being here tonight. We might have some other people pop in here shortly. Just if you could just like mute your phones, make sure you're muted, maybe have a pad of paper to take some notes, because if you're here for the first time, I guarantee you're going to have some things that you have questions about later. And yeah, just give yourself permission to just be here and listen to this incredible information. What you are going to be hearing about for the next 45 minutes or so is $1 trillion industry, which equates to the largest economic trend in world history, according to Paul Zane Pilzer. He was a world economist. He wrote multiple books, including The Next Millionaires. He advised multiple presidents. And that industry is the wellness sector. And you're going to be hearing about a company and a product line that is so far ahead of the curve in this category. You may not have even heard of it, but it's very exciting. We're a publicly traded company, and there is an incredible timing that you can capitalize on now. Even though we've been around for a little while, you haven't heard of this before. And we have some groundbreaking science we're going to share with you tonight, including an opportunity to participate in it. So we're going to go back in time, just think of it as a time capsule, to 2005, when ABC News did a primetime investigative report on this small, publicly traded biotech company out of Denver, Colorado. And it is antiquated, but we love to share it because it's the start of this story that I'm going to fill you in on. And while you're watching this news clip, just ask yourself these questions. Who needs this information? And if I could participate in a company like this, would I want to? All right, so let me just share my screen here and get started. Welcome everybody who just came on. Oops, here we go. That's what I need. Here we go.
The following is an ABC primetime investigative report that aired in 2005.
You want to get an edge on turning back the clock with just a few pills? Who doesn't? Well, it's no longer science fiction, but science possibility, a potential breakthrough. As I found out firsthand, there may be a way to erase years, at least inside my body. Granted, it's down the road, but some scientists are wondering if a new pill I took might offer a very long life. It may not look like the fountain of youth, but inside this nondescript building, I'm about to become part of an exciting experiment, a kind of guinea pig. Dr. McCord, okay. I'm here at the University of Colorado in Denver to meet Dr. Joe McCord, a world-renowned scientist. That's pretty exciting stuff you're finding, huh?
It is. We're very excited about it.
His latest research could very well unravel the mystery of aging itself. And his decades of experiments may have the potential of adding years to people's lives and possibly prevent chronic diseases like cancer, diabetes, and heart disease. It all centers around this small yellow pill, and for me, it begins with a blood test.
Yeah, there we go.
It wouldn't be the first time I've given blood for this company.
They want to check my levels of something called T-bars, which is a rough indicator of a person's actual age. T-bars can identify a condition known as oxidative stress, a kind of measure of the wear and tear on our bodies. Oxidative stress, like the rusting of an engine, is not a good thing.
Bad for the body,
Leading to disease.
leading to disease and leading to malfunction, and importantly, leading to what we call aging. It is a slow progression of increasing oxidative stress. That's the main characteristic biochemically of the aging process.
The problem of aging begins with the very food we eat to give us energy. As our cells burn that food, they also release toxic chemicals. Those chemicals, you may know them as free radicals, react with all the components of our cells, literally bombarding them millions of times per second, damaging all our cells. The result? Oxidative stress. We all have it. The body fights back with a system of defenses. It makes two antioxidant enzymes, catalase and SOD, whose job is to gobble up the free radicals before they can harm our cells. But as we get older, some of those toxic radicals overwhelm our enzymes and wreak their havoc. For a long time, scientists thought that antioxidant vitamins like C and E would lower it, but they don't.
As it's turned out in just the last 5 years or so, we see that they're not good enough tools. They're not powerful enough.
But this pill, he says, is powerful enough. In fact, many times more powerful.
So, Doctor, how often do I take these?
And so here I go. With that swallow, I've just become part of a potentially landmark scientific experiment.
Doesn't taste bad.
It's called Protandim, and tests on both mice and humans have already shown that it revs up the manufacture of those good enzymes in our bodies. More enzymes, fewer free radicals to harm us. Whether that will lead to longer life is still unknown. Experiments to see if mice live longer are about to get underway, but it's a tantalizing theory.
Right now, all we know is that this preparation decreases oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is not a disease, just like aging is not in itself a disease, but it's something that accompanies and is attached to many disease processes.
Have you discovered the fountain of youth?
I wouldn't put it that way, but we may have discovered something that will tell us a lot more about how we age, what happens biochemically, and maybe how we can slow it down. And so you can see the age-related.
Normally, oxidative stress, measured by those T-bars, increases with age. But in Dr. McCord's tests, taking just one pill of Protandim a day reversed that trend for everyone at every age, even for an 80-year-old.
They all are reduced to the level of oxidative stress that one would expect, frankly, in a newborn or a very young child.
Back to the oxidative stress levels of a child? It sounds too good to be true. Will Protandim work on me?
But what about my progress? After nearly 2 weeks now, it's time to get my results. Dr. McCord calculates the numbers. The result? My level of oxidative stress has declined dramatically.
45%, that's excellent.
Just look at where I fall on the graph, before and after.
Which, if extrapolated back, is the level you would see in a newborn baby.
Have we turned back the clock? Well, maybe not on the outside, but deep inside within my cells. Yes, indeed.
Okay, so if you just came on, if everybody could just mute their line, please. And we were just watching an ABC Primetime News clip. You can see the full clip at YouTube if you look up Protandim ABC Investigative Report. It's a little bit longer than that, but I wanted to give you a snapshot. So tonight, I'm going to tell you our company story, what's actually happened since then. We're going to talk about the product story. We're going to talk about leveraged income. I will share my story. We have some special guests on here tonight sharing their story. And we're going to show you how you can capitalize on this category creating science. You can not only leverage the power of your genes with our science, but you can leverage the power of supplemental income and leveraged income if it resonates with you. Okay, so we'll go over both things. Sound good? Fantastic. I'm just going to, let's see, change that here. Okay, so I want to ask you guys a question first of all. Had you ever heard of oxidative stress prior to seeing that news clip? Anybody? I had never heard of it, and I have been in the health industry my entire life. had never heard that actual scientific term 12 years ago. So I just want to make sure everybody knows what it is, why we have this, and why it's relevant to this conversation. So let's start by everybody just take a deep breath in. Let's arrive in your chair. You just got oxidative stress. And if you're 5 minutes older than you were when we started, you got oxidative stress because it happens when we age. And there's really no escaping it. But there's also pollution in the air, chemicals in our water, pesticides in our food. We all use cell phones. We're sitting in front of our laptop right now. We're getting those EMFs. There's things that we cannot control in our environment that we're succumb to all the time. And that additional stress exponentially increases this damage. But why is that important? Well, oxidative stress is linked to every condition that you don't want in your body. It has everything to do with your heart, skin, kidneys, joints, lungs, brain, your immune system, blood vessels. All your organs can be damaged by increasing oxidative stress. In fact, there is over hold on, let me back up a little bit, 250,000 studies linking oxidative stress to anything. Okay. So if you're curious if oxidative stress has something to do with what's going on in your body, you can go there and look. Now, in that news clip, John Quinones took Protandim and his blood work was improved. His oxidative stress was reduced by 45% just in 2 weeks, which is absolutely incredible. The first study on Protandim NRF2 activator showed that it could reduce oxidative stress an average of 40% in 30 days. And we can literally say that legally to the FDA, which is a very, very big deal, because there's a lot of things out there that say they do things. We cannot make claims to cure, treat, or mitigate disease. The FDA could shut you down, but we can say we reduce oxidative stress. And what do we know about oxidative stress? Well, everything I just mentioned, okay? It is a very, very big deal. So, the difference between what Protandim does and what you're familiar with, which are antioxidants or supplements, is when you eat an orange or a blueberry, or you take vitamin C or eat some broccoli, that antioxidant can eliminate 1 free radical per antioxidant in that food or supplement. You'd have to eat 400 oranges to do what Protandim does in your body, and this is why. It's a 1-to-1 ratio. We are bombarded by 300 septillion free radicals every single day, according to the scientist that was involved in helping develop Protandim. You could not even scratch the surface with those things. However, when you activate your own genes through this NRF2 pathway, we call it NERF for short, like a football, you are literally turning a sprinkler system on that burning house fire. If you want to completely rely on food and supplements, you are trying to address oxidative stress or that fire in your body with Dixie cups of water. So the bigger question is, who needs to know about this? Everybody always, oh my gosh, everybody, right? I mean, we are activating and harnessing the power of our genes through just turning on this little switch. We call it flipping the switch with 5 plant ingredients. And I'm going to talk about what these are a little bit more here. Protandim NRF2 Synergizer, proven to lower oxidative stress an average of 40%. It's made up of 5 main plant ingredients: milk thistle, turmeric, green tea, bacopa, and ashwagandha. And you might be familiar with some of these, which that's fine. That's not the unique thing about Protandim, though. When Dr. McCord actually got these ingredients in this very specific ratio, it made it 18 times more powerful than the individual components at very low doses. There's a study on this at PubMed.gov. So that's Protandim, our foundation product. But what happened when that news clip aired, right? Why are we still watching that? Well, the exciting things happened between then and now. And when that aired, $5 million of orders came into this small biotech company, literally overnight. But there was no marketing team in place. There was no one to pick up phone calls. When ABC News comes in to do something like that, it's usually negative. It's an investigation because they're trying to prove something negative. But it was all positive. $5 million of orders came in and they had no plan. However, doctors and researchers from all over the world called this company Lifevantage and said, we want to study this product. We're going to use our own money. We're going to design our own studies. And today there are 28 peer-reviewed papers and studies just on Protandim NRF2. Okay, I call these the receipts of our science. It's so significant. You can't compare this to anything else out there today. American Heart Association and Ohio State did a study on heart disease and scar tissue. That went out in Circulation Journal, out to all the AHA members. LSU did a skin cancer study with Protandim. And the results of that were so significant that we took the technology of NRF2 activation and put it into skincare. That's our skincare line. The National Institute of Aging studied Protandim and longevity to see if it increased lifespan. Well, they found that it increased the lifespan in the animal model by 7%. And this is compared to things you've heard of, green tea, resveratrol, omegas, things that people take all the time that did not have a significant increase in lifespan. Activation did. The point is, this is not an average thing that's out on the market, but we didn't know all this for a long time. In 2005, they ended up putting this in the stores. Whoops, sorry. They ended up putting this in the stores like GNC, CVS, apothecaries all over the country. And it was $50 sitting on the shelf. It said NRF2 Synergizer. And it sat next to vitamin C because there was really no category for nutrigenomics or activation. And nobody knew what it was. They couldn't get the sales over 3 million. But in 2009, they brought in some business consultants, which is what companies do when they need to figure out their issues. And he convinced the company to pull it off the shelves, take out that middleman, and turn this into a network marketing model where people, average people like you and myself, entrepreneurs, consumers, could use that ABC News clip as a way to share the message of Protandim. We don't own that ABC News clip. It's owned by ABC, but independent consultants could use that to share. Most people don't want to be salespeople, but we are natural connectors. Would you agree? Everybody is a connector. You have heard about something good from somebody else, I guarantee you, and I guarantee you, you've referred somebody to a great hairdresser, a good massage therapist, a great inversion table, or what. I just brought that up because I have one and I talk about it a lot. We do it all the time. When they said, let's change the model and put this in the hands of real people using these products and share the profits with those people. And they did. And they went from 3 million to we're at $250 million today. Okay. It was a big success. We are publicly traded on the NASDAQ today. We've been recognized on Wall Street. We've been there to ring the bell twice, our company. It's been a big success. Okay. Do you think it was a good idea to change the network marketing? Yes, we're in 23 countries. So I'm going to cover a few topics here. If you are here with a business mind, we're going to cover the most important things to consider when asking yourself, is this something I'd want to participate in from a business standpoint? I'm also going to cover the products are part of what makes this business so attractive. I don't know a single person I'm working with today that is not here that would be here if they didn't love these products and they're a product of the product, 100%. But I'm going to cover that. So if you see yourself falling into that category, you're going to get a real good overview of what's available to you, leveraging the power of your genes. Okay. So a little bit about the company itself. Like I said, we are publicly traded on the NASDAQ. I already said that. We are a debt-free company, completely transparent. That's really important when you're looking at an opportunity like this, that we know what's going on behind the scenes. Things have happened in business, in network marketing, in corporate America, where they're private, and all of a sudden, it's gone. We don't have to worry about that because of who, what our company is. We are transparent. We have a board of directors, and we have to know what's going on. We can also be investors ourselves. These are the countries that we are in today. In fact, we just did a big launch with most of these countries, our newest product line that is in our weight loss sector. Very exciting. And just in looking at the products, the kind of products that we do have, ask yourself, are these marketable products if I were participating in this company? Well, we have a $300 billion anti-aging market with category creating consumable and unique scientifically backed products that you can't get anywhere else and patented. $200 billion weight loss sector, 121 billion skincare sector, 85 billion hair care, Pet care, 67 billion, and energy, 50 billion. We have products in all these categories. I'm sure you could pick one that you feel that you really resonate with, but quite frankly, all of this is so significant. I use all of these products. People ask me all the time, well, what do you use? All of them. There's no overlap, and we have access to all these huge markets around the world. So let's break down the products into different categories. I'm going to spend a little bit of time on our main activators, which we call our main activators. That is starting with Protandim Tri-Synergizer. We have the Protandim NRF2, which you learned about on the ABC News clip. We have Protandim NRF1, which activates your mitochondria production. These are the runners in your cells, okay? And we have Protandim NAD. You've probably heard of that. It's a big buzzword. You see it all over Facebook today. This is, NAD is all about focus, mood, clarity, and cellular longevity, like the lifespan of your cell. Take a look at this. What they found is that when these three Protandim products were combined, they exponentially increased the effectiveness of the individual. So although I will say NRF2, hands down, foundation product, everybody should have at least that. When you add these other two, it's even more powerful. This is what I have in my office right here. I love it. And it comes in little packets, so it's really easy to take. Okay, we have some gut health products, a prebiotic drink, which acts like fertilizer for your probiotic. It also helps with satiety. We have a probiotic, which is unique in and of itself because it is time released and it lasts. It actually gets to your intestines where it's supposed to be. Where a lot of probiotic products out there will die off in your stomach acid. It's a pretty harsh environment. So let me just bring this up here. And then we have Daily Wellness, which is our immune drink. This is what I drink at night to wind down. I have it hot. It's like a wild berry flavor, and it has just your vitamin C, vitamin E, vitamin D, zinc, and elderberry, which are all great for helping support your immune system. Mind Body GLP-1 activation system. This is our newest product line. You've probably heard of GLP-1 in the past. At some point, you've heard of this hormone that people are finding ways to manipulate in different fashions. Our products are always working with your natural physiology to empower what's already there. We do not add in, inject, we don't put patches on. There's nothing, we're not adding anything to the body. We're using ingredients to activate what our body is capable of. And I love that. So we're never going to like over inject or something, a hormone that's not supposed to be there. I'm going to talk a little bit more about this Mind Body Enhance. It's clinically shown to naturally increase GLP-1 by 140% on average. Newer studies that just came out this past weekend show up to 200% increase in our naturally occurring GLP-1 hormone. Now, what does that do? GLP-1 helps balance hunger hormones to increase satiety. It kind of helps your gut communicate with your brain so you feel fuller longer. I guarantee you there's people on here right now, including myself, that use this product that have recognized the change in this, hormone. Looking at food and being like, I'm done, or I'm not craving that I normally would. It helps balance blood sugar, quiet food noise, and because of those adjustments, there's that natural weight loss. In the clinical study we did initially, before this officially launched in October, they found there was a 27% reduction in visceral fat, which is the fat around our organs, and a 5% reduction in total body fat. 100% of the people who did lose weight maintained muscle. So that is a concern sometimes when people are taking weight loss products. The average weight loss was 25 pounds in 12 weeks, give or take. And it was about 83% of the participants did lose weight. Sometimes there are other factors involved. So I honestly, like 12 week is a minimum with this product. It can go longer, and it's something you can take long-term. But look at these numbers. 96% of people chose smaller portions, had reduced cravings, took back control of relationship with their food. I can relate to all of these things here. And here's some pictures. Sometimes it's just a slight change over time, compound effect, a little change over time can create this healthy weight loss, healthy, sustainable weight loss. See some of these messages here. All right, and we have a fat burn. This is a metabolic enhancer. This is something you can add into a weight loss program, but essentially the science shows that increases your metabolic burn about 180 calories extra per day. So you're going to burn an extra 180 calories per day. I think this is a nice partner product with the Mind Body. It's not necessary. You can use this on its own or with our other activators. We also do have some supplemental products, things that support us. I especially love our Rise AM, Reset PM, ingredients that help support our circadian rhythms so that we get the right stuff in the morning when we need more energy, and we get the right stuff in the evening when we need our system to settle down. We have a D3. Lots of people are deficient in D3. We do have an omega, which includes omega-3, 7, and D3, and vitamin D. The unique thing about our omega, by the way, which is highly anti-inflammatory, I mean, everybody should be taking this because you're probably not getting enough omegas in your diet. So this is something that is a supplement. It's very high quality. You can trace this to the boat the fish was caught on. You can literally bite into this capsule and drink the oil down. There's no fish taste, no fish burps. We have a product that's for our vision and brain. If you're staring at the screen right now and not using blue light glasses like I am, you're creating oxidative stress in your eyes. So this helps support reducing oxidative stress in the eye and just protecting your eyes in general. We have Pet Tandem. It's the only NRF2 activator on the market for dogs, specifically today. Let's take a look at Fido here. Some of you all on here have dogs. I know my dogs take Pet Tandem. Sorry, it's like a chewable treat. Why did they create this? Because people were giving Pro Tandem to their pets. And you can give Pro Tandem to your pets, by the way. There's a lot of people that give Pro Tandem to horses. So if you know anybody in the equine industry, we want this information in their hands. But Pet Tandem increases playfulness, energy, supports joint health, hearing and eyesight, adds shine to their coat. It's fantastic. All right, let's move on. Our second category is achieving more. Not only do we want to optimize health, what do we want to do with it? We want to achieve more in our life and have the energy to do it. So we have Axio. This is our brain drink. It provides physical energy, mental energy. It improves neurotransmitter function in your brain, improves mood, improves focus and clarity. Sounds good, right? And it comes in a caffeinated and a decaf flavor. And I love to highlight the decaf because I am literally here almost 7 o'clock Central Time, my time. I'm having a decaf Axio. I'm not worried about it not letting me go to sleep, but it does help my brain, helps me focus here while I'm doing this presentation. That's why I love having a decaf version of our Axio. And then, of course, who doesn't want to look good as we age? You know, I don't know anybody that's trying to look older faster. So we added our liquid collagen to our product line, not just because of how we want to look on the outside, because it is fantastic for hair, skin, and nails. But this is so critical for every organ in our body, including joint health. So let me highlight this here. Also, when you take collagen with the Pro Tandem Nerve 2, there's also a synergistic impact with that, reducing cellular stress. That's patent pending. But let's take a deeper dive into our liquid collagen. This is one of our other main activators. All right, increases, let's see, hold on, 8-week clinical study. This is what I wanted to highlight here. Increased collagen density by 42% in 8 weeks. That's incredible. I think I might even have a picture of this on here. It's 3 things that this collagen does. Very different. If you have a powder collagen, very different. The 3 things it does is activate, replenish, and maintain. Activates your body's production of your own collagen. Like I said, harnessing the power of our own genes. It also does replenish our lost collagen. Like I said, we're aging every minute. And every minute we're aging, our own collagen is breaking down. So this helps replenish that. It also slows down the breakdown of our collagen. So it activates, replenishes, and maintains. These are the ingredients. And we have 10 different types of peptides of fish collagen that it supplies to our body. Every organ, muscle recovery, joint support, gut health, your brain, sleep, liver detox. Actually, sleep is one of the things I noticed when I first started taking this. And I did some, I went to Google, scholar.google, and looked that up and found some interesting stuff about taking collagen and sleep. Cognitive support, sexual health. Oh my, we did a whole presentation on that in our health education group. So if you want to hear about that. This is the picture of the increase in collagen density at 8 weeks. Look at that. That is activating your own collagen. What's not in it? Sugar, artificial sweeteners. It's dairy-free, gluten-free, soy-free, non-GMO. It comes in a beautiful glass bottle. This is mine on my shelf. It's nice and small. It's like a little shot glass, and you drink it one a day. It's 90% absorbable. If you're taking powder, it's about 10 to 30% absorption. So you're paying for a lot of what you're not getting. That's why liquid is so important. Here's some results that we can see on the outside. Of course, the quality of the skin, the elasticity of the skin, the smoothness. The skin is more plump and hydrated looking. This is our friend, Dr. Nancy Bryan, who was brave enough to share pictures of her legs after, when she started, before she started taking collagen, and then weeks later. Pretty powerful. All right, I'm going to quickly go through some of our other favorite products to look radiant. We have a hair care system that activates your scalp. Okay, it does have NRF2 activating technology to strengthen your hair strands, helps maintain normal scalp microflora, reduces frizz and split ends and stuff like that. It's super, super clean. And one thing I want to say about all of our personal care products is they are listed as clean and safe, non-toxic on the Think Dirty app. So that should be important to you. It's a big thing right now, a trend. People want clean products that don't have chemicals in them. And you can see some of the results here. Here's our skincare line. Like I mentioned, this started with that LSU skin cancer study. This is what took activation technology into the skincare line. It's a cleanser, a plant-based retinol, this little red bottle. There's an eye cream that literally goes all the way around the eye. You can put it on your eyelid. And then there's a hydrating, brightening moisturizer, which is, I think, my favorite. Honestly, I use all of this. And here are some results. You can literally see changes in your skin in 15 minutes after putting this on. It's that hydrating. And lastly, we have what everybody needs right now. We're going into May, True Protect, which goes on clear. It's zinc oxide, so you would think it would go on white and sticky, but it doesn't. It's super smooth. You can rub zinc clear. No beach smell or anything like that. Put it on your hands. You want to avoid, those aging spots on your hands. But it enhances your skin radiance. So you're going to use this with that skincare line. And then we also have a hand cream that also is NRF2 activating. Look at this beautiful product line. This is where we are now. And we just got back from a big conference with just some teasers about things in the pipeline and what our company is looking at. We are looking at the science that's currently out there, the pathways that are available to possibly be activated in areas like stress, sleep, sex hormones. I mean, the GLP-1, you name it, they are looking ahead. So I really feel we are just scratching the surface here with our product line, and we have so much more to do. All right, I'm going to invite a special guest on here. Now I'm going to stop sharing just so you can see her face well. Whoops. Stop share. That's what I wanted to do. Here we are. Okay. There she is. Okay, Dr. Sarah Pace is a pediatric chiropractor from New York, and I just met her recently, but I invited her to come on today to share her story, who she is, why she said yes to this company just back in February, I believe. And what have you noticed, like for yourself, for your patients? Please share.
So I see a lot of kids in my practice as well as adults, and I was just seeing a lot of people going after the GLP-1 shot as a way to lose weight with serious side effects, and hearing side effects from nurses in our hospitals of what they're seeing on a daily. I'm like, there's got to be something more natural that people can be using. And then I was talking to my friend Dr. Kat at one of our seminars, and she was saying how the mind body, and she's been using it with a lot of her patients with great results. I was like, I want that information. So I started doing it in February. I've had about 40 friends, family, patients do it, and they're on their second month. Some of them are on their first month, and seeing phenomenal results. Not just in the weight loss. I actually make people track their measurements rather than just focusing on the number on the scale. I think that's huge because, like you said, that visceral fat, that inflammation, the oxidative stress is going on, so they know what's happening on the inside is so important. People's sleep has improved, the bloating has gone down, they're regular with their bowels when they weren't before. People have their hair has grown back. They've been texting me, they're like, could this be making my hair grow back? I was like, yes, because it's activating your body, which it was such a hard concept for me to grasp, is activation, because I was always about supplement, take this magnesium, take this D to supplement your body with what it needs. But activation makes so much more sense. And I think we can reduce so many supplements by just getting our body to do what it was designed to do. And I just love the fact that there's so much science to back it up, and there's a ton of professionals in it. So it's just, so far has been amazing.
Thank you so much. And I'm just curious, like, I mean, what is it that had you say yes to the business? Because I know
So-
you stepped in as a consultant, like you.
Yeah. I mean, to me, I just feel like it's a no-brainer. It's a win-win. You're helping people with their health, and you're making extra income on the side. You're not having to trade your time for money, which most people in the workforce, if in order to make more money, you have to trade your time for that. And same with my chiropractic office. If I want to make more money, I got to be there more. Where this, you can have residual income and it's consumable products, but you're getting people healthy. So to me, it's just a win-win. So I don't understand why anyone would say no to it.
I know, it all makes sense. It all makes sense to us once we're
It
here.
just makes sense.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Sarah.
No problem.
And you can just, let me just mute you
Yeah,
again.
I'll meet you.
Thank you so much
Yep.
for jumping on. And okay, so I have another guest coming on shortly. I'm going to do a little shift here into the discussion about the timing of our business because, oops, can you guys see that? Okay. The timing in business does matter. All right. If we could go back in time and we knew what Apple was going to do or what Google was going to do or Amazon and invest in companies like that before everybody knew about it, or Starbucks, you'd be pretty happy, right? We have a special, insight look into what's happening here. And I say this very confidently because right now, if you go to like some popular blogs, I mean, not blogs, that's so old school, not blogs, podcasts. And some of the biggest books on health right now: Good Energy, Lifespan, Outlive, Young Forever, How Not to Age, podcasts hosted by like Gary Brecka, Dave Asprey. These are people are breaking down topics on oxidative stress, mitochondrial health, and inflammation as if they're brand new. But the truth is, they are brand new to most people. We've been talking about this for 20 years with Lifevantage. We are still so ahead of the curve right now that there is that opportunity to participate if you see yourself wanting to do that. Most people are saying, gosh, I wish I had more money next year. Where health might seem more immediate. I don't know, wherever you are, it's different, but I just want you to know where we are, that even though we're in 23 countries today, people still do not know what this is. They're just starting to read about oxidative stress. We know how to activate your cells to reduce it. And this is a visual for, where we are. We're really still in this early majority phase of our company. Oops. Okay. All right, I'm going to touch on the compensation plan. For those of you who are thinking this is really interesting, there will be an opportunity to ask questions to the person that invited you with more detail on the comp plan, but I just want to break it down for you in a simple way first. Okay, so the first way we make money right here, just look in this little green category. This is customer sales. Okay, this is more linear income. You share a product and you earn an immediate commission on that product. So that's kind of like the linear way we make money. And also when you enroll a new business partner, you earn a commission immediately on, because those are products that get moved through the network, you earn a commission on that. So that's kind of the first way we make money, by just sharing. But then maybe your customer base gets bigger, and then you start earning bonuses the larger your customer base becomes. So you can earn anywhere from 10% up to 40% on your customer volume every single month. And that's leveraged income. You share with somebody yesterday and they're still ordering in a year, you're earning that income every single month that they order. It's not just one time, which is more traditional business. And then if you decide you want to grow more, build and grow, we call that, you start to unlock bonuses. You unlock just leadership match bonuses that are just not there in that earlier phase. So you're talking about having some business partners that then turn around and do the same thing. You're going to earn anywhere from, I'm going to go back here a little bit. This is where I was talking about the extra bonuses on sales. Let me go back here a little bit. In your first 90 days, your full days, you have opportunities to earn extra money when you first come in. So this is why, if you're looking at this, and you want to move forward now, there's the opportunity to earn extra money just in this early window. This is what I was getting to right here, where you can earn 5% up to 10% of your consultant volume on your first level. And you can see, as you grow in the business, you get paid deeper in your organization. So as those business partners turn around and grow their business, you're earning percentage. You earn a little bit of all of it. This is the leadership match. The generational check match bonus, where it incentivizes people to help build your leaders. Okay. So the way our whole compensation plan works, there's a lot of collaboration. There's a lot of incentive for the people who are above you to reach down and help you. If you want something and they're going to make sure you know how to do it, we also get to benefit from that. And that's what creates this beautiful culture. When you get to the higher ranks in the company, executive level, you're going to participate in a profit sharing pool where the company takes 4% of global commissionable sales and they split it among the executive leaders. Again, this creates that collaborative environment. So it's not like your team, my team, like we all have to be separate. We all want to help everybody, because the larger Lifevantage grows, the more success we all get to experience. And then we also have really fun incentive programs. We have extraordinary incentive trips that you can qualify for. You can also qualify to earn a Jeep Wrangler or 25,000 cash when you get to the executive ranks in the company. Okay, so this is where I'm going to invite another special guest on here just shortly. Because we are publicly traded, everything has to be transparent. And if you go to our website, you can scroll all the way down under resources and find our income disclosure statement. So you have a real-time snapshot of the income people are making currently in our most recent financial statement every single month based on their rank. Okay, so right now you can see over here on the left, you see the whole thing. And then if you scroll all the way to the right, it also shows you, if you're on your phone, this would be very small, but if you're on your laptop, you should be able to see it. The average number of months it takes to get there. This is not a get rich quick scheme. Okay, some people can go much faster. Some people can take longer, but this is realistic. We're not going to come in here and say you're going to earn 6 figures in 4 weeks. That's probably not going to happen. But if you follow our system that we train you with, you can get there. And this is kind of an average number of months. But over here on the right in the bigger print, you're going to see the average income of people at different ranks. Now you can see in the early stages and just that share, the average income is under $100, but that's enough to offset your own products, right? Because we're all a product of our own products. We order these products every month. And then when you get to the higher ranks in the company, you're talking about a nice, a few $100s a month, up to almost $900 a month. We have managing consultants, average income $1,700 up to $6,700 a month. I encourage you to think about, what would that do in your life to have an extra like that coming in? So with that, I'm going to invite Leigh Grag, gorgeous Leigh Grag from South Carolina. And I'm going to stop screen sharing here. She is a mama of 3 girls, and not just a mom. She is a homeschool mom. Okay, homeschool mom of 3 girls. She's a beautiful vocalist. She's a former communications professor, a woman of faith, and she's a managing consultant one on that earnings statement. And I just want to invite you on here, Leigh. You're just a gorgeous, beautiful, huge heart soul. And I just want to like, what had you say yes to Lifevantage? Tell us your story.
Thanks, Kathleen. Can you hear me? Yes. Okay. When I first heard about this, it was back in 2016, and we were living in Maryland at the time. And Kathleen was there at the time too, but we had gone through a ton of loss, not just people in our lives that passed away, but we also went through a lot of financial loss. While my husband was getting his doctorate at the University of Maryland, our savings went, and then we moved across the country, and we were just consumers at the beginning because it was a hard time of life. But we are both teachers, and while we were living in Maryland, we were just literally piecing together enough to survive with multiple little part-time jobs that we were both doing. And so when we saw this opportunity, we knew like this is going to have a place in our lives, but now is not quite the right time. But we kept seeing other people growing their businesses. And then 2 years later, Greg, my husband, just said, Leigh, we're missing the boat. And so we jumped in at the end of 2018. And then within 2 years, literally after having a brand new baby, I was able to reach managing consultant 1 over the course of 2 years. Didn't even do a ton of social media with this, really. I mean, it's so possible with our system to grow organically. And then we moved where we are now in South Carolina in 21. Oh, and then we had some intense fraud that happened in our lives, January of 23. And again, our savings disappeared. And at that time, literally within that same week, 2 days later, our company rolled out our new compensation plan. And let's just say I more than doubled my income. And it was a hallelujah moment, because when you see like your finances disappear and you're wondering, how are we going to like survive? Because we were already in the midst of trying to figure out what do our new finances look like. And then wouldn't you know it, like our paycheck just like went so much higher. So for us to be able to pay for our mortgage or pay for some holistic healthcare we need, or girls' activities, because we homeschool, it's all out of pocket, this is a gift. And to be able to help people with what we have to offer and make money, it's been a dream. It's really been so wonderful. And I'm just excited to share more and grow more and help more people. But it's been a gift for us, for sure. So that's our story.
Thank you. You bring up such an important topic. Well, 2 things. 1, digging the well before you're thirsty, because you never know when that thing is going to happen to us. And something is going to happen where you will be so glad that you have something over here, even if it's not big at the time, that you have something that you can do. It's available. You can, if something happens over here, you can spend some time over here and build this business and create that financial security. That's the beauty of it. So you bring that up so well. Like you had it happen twice, and a big move, right? That's pretty stressful too. So thank you so much, Leigh, for coming on.
Thanks.
And I do have another guest, but I first want to point out, back to this earnings statement. When you get to the higher ranks in the company, you're going to see what's called Managing Consultant 3. And I have somebody on here who's going to share who's at that place now. The average income of a Managing Consultant 3 is $6,700 a month. So I'm going to go back and invite my dear friend, Phil Tavolacci, on here. He is also a myofascial release therapist. He's a dad He is a husband. He is an author. He's an artist. I mean, look at that beautiful piece of art behind him. He did that. He has been a soul brother to me for many, many years. And I can tell you what he was one of the busiest people I knew when I started this business. And he was the first person that I invited. So Phil, would you share with us why you said yes to Lifevantage? I know you have kind of a product story, but also the reason why you stepped into the business.
Yeah, well, I have you to thank for me being in this business. I'm so grateful for you sharing it with me all those years ago, back in 2013. Initially, I really wasn't looking for another business. I was consciously downsizing my physical therapy practice. I was kind of burning out at that point after, working so hard being a practice owner. But I had a huge product experience with Protandem. I mean, it totally changed my life. And so I had to really reevaluate, maybe this is something that I should look at with more of a business and entrepreneurial lens. And I'm so glad I did because, when you have your own private practice or you're doing anything where you're trading your time for money, leaving that income source for like a vacation or taking time off for something can be really anxiety producing. And so with Lifevantage, I started earning the leveraged income, and I started feeling that freedom of being able to treat less patients, go to events, go on vacation, and not freak out the whole time that money wasn't coming in. So that was like one of the early blessings on the business side. And then COVID hit. I had to totally close my practice for, I think, 6, 7, 8 weeks. I can't remember the exact period of time, but thankfully it had grown. Lifevantage had grown to that point where it was allowing me to pay my bills. Again, such a reduction in anxiety. And when you have less anxiety, you have better health, right? And then when I look at more recently, my husband Jeff lost his job almost 2 years ago. So 27 years in a specific career, and he's having a really hard time finding another job. And this income from Lifevantage is really, allowing us to have a life that's not totally interrupted by the financial disruption of him losing his job. So the business aspect, the financial aspect has been just as rewarding as the health benefits that have come from the product. And it seems like this company produces products specifically for me. Like the first product that came out addressed a huge issue I was having. And then years later, when my spine was flaring up again from past trauma, like the collagen came out, and again, I had massive transformation. And then the GLP-1 activator came out, and metabolically, I'm the best I've been in my whole life, like feeling better at almost 53 than I felt at 33. So for me, this company has been a blessing on all these levels. And again, I thank you for being the one to bring it to me. So
Thank you. And you are proof that you can be a very, very, very busy person and still grow this business.
yeah, I mean, I've definitely done it in the nooks and crannies. Like that's not just cliche and words that are shared, between patients, between, cooking dinner and getting the kids ready for something, you can fit this in. So it's definitely something that can be done with a very busy schedule.
Thank you. And
Thank
for
you.
anyone who has kids out there, I think we can relate to this, that, to have something that we can do, around the needs of our family is really special. All right, I'm going to go, and I promise it's going to be very tight, but I do want to share my story here because I know that my background, but whoops, what just happened? Doesn't want me to go there. Oh, here we go. I was able to reach the executive consultant rank in about 4 years. And I share that because I have no experience in network marketing. at all prior to this. I did have a private practice. I downsized my private practice when I decided to become a mom because I understand to run a traditional business and be the mom I wanted to be, it wasn't going to work. I only had so many hours in the day, and you know, they're only young ones. So when I started just doing part-time work, actually partnered up with my friend Phil, I still was looking for a way to create income, but I did not want to leave my kids in daycare. That was just I just didn't want to do it. And I didn't have a way to create that income for the life that I wanted to live with my family at the time. I was literally praying for something I could do where I literally could have my baby on my back. And that's when someone showed me that ABC News clip. When I say that, I mean, they just showed me the news clip and said, I have a business opportunity for you. The rest was divine because I realized I had never even heard of oxidative stress. I certainly wanted this product in my body based on what I had learned about oxidative stress, and how would I keep that a secret? How would I just refuse to share that ABC News clip with somebody? So I decided to come in as a consultant because I needed time. It wasn't even a lot of money I was looking for. I just wanted the time and flexibility. So if that resonates for you, I hope I want you to hear my story. I just needed something I could do when I put my kids down and I had a little bit of time, that there was something I could do that felt purposeful, that felt impactful, that was transformational. And this had all of that. I figured if it was a few $100s a month, I'd be grateful, to be thanked for doing that work. Well, over time, that created thousands of dollars a month that allowed me to support my family from my end without having to treat more and more and more patients. I was able to stay very part-time. I still enjoy treating patients part-time. I was able to take a sabbatical, in fact, for a few years and get back, but just I can treat patients because I want to, not because I have to, but most importantly, I get to be there for my kids. And to be there at every game, to be able to pick them up from school when it's raining, to have to take them to school when it's raining, whatever it is, to pick them up when they're sick. It's just, I don't have that financial stress that I would have if I was totally dependent just on that linear income. And not to mention the income, not just the income matters here. It is the community of support, of mentorship. I would spend thousands of dollars to get the kind of training that we've had over the years. And just the friendships, the tribe, all of it. The system. I didn't have to become an expert in this to grow this business. In fact, all I had to do was know how to invite somebody and how to share a tool and how to work in a team of people. That was probably the hardest part, is actually just allowing people to help me, because I'm very strongly independent. Can anybody relate to that? Working with a team and not having to take on all the load. So we do have a simple system for you. So getting started, you're falling into one of three categories, and I appreciate you being on here tonight, taking time away to listen. And thank you for our special guests coming on to share their stories. I think it makes our presentation so much more special. You might be thinking, I want to do some more research. So we do have a Lifevantage website. The person that invited you has a unique website you can go to, and is so very thorough. I guarantee you will find everything you need to know. But if you do go online, we recommend scholar.google.com, because there are plenty of blogs and advertisers out there who know that people are looking at this, right? And they're trying to capture the traffic, and they will write all sorts of stuff that isn't true. We have pubmed.gov. You can go there, type in protandem. You can look up NRF2, activation, mitochondria, NAD. Look at any of these topics or any health concerns that are relevant for you. You can look up to see if there's links. We also have private education groups called Health Evolution. So if you're not in that group yet, just have the person that invited you add you to it. You might be thinking, I am ready to activate my genes and empower my body. Well, you can become a customer. We have a fantastic customer program where you can earn wellness credits as you order on subscription. We have a retail price and subscription price. Better to get the subscription price, and there's ways to get some good shipping prices as well. So just get back with the person that invited you. There's ways to save money when you compound the products, when you bundle them, okay? And then lastly, you're thinking, I'm in, okay? And if you're thinking, I'm in, I'm using these products, there's no way I can keep this a secret, I'm in a time in my life where I'm ready to receive, then you can come in as a consultant. We have several different packs. We have a business pack, 2 different business packs, which are $9.99. So you're starting a business for under $1,000 The person who invited you actually might have a 10% off coupon that gives you all the products that you need to get started to experience everything. This one right here just has the 3 activators. There's one that has all the products. You also get a ticket to a company conference. So our next big in-person conference is in October. It is so much value. You save 29% on all of the products, which is way better than just ordering on subscription. Okay. There's a smaller pack. There's a couple different packs. So if that's where you're at, you pick a pack and then you're going to pick a stack. The things that you want to commit to on a monthly basis for your own health. So there's a lot of different combinations here. And if you order at least a certain volume, then you also will get coupons to help you grow your business. So with that, lastly, you're just going to get back with the person that invited you tonight. If you're on here for the first time or you're on here and you're saying, I want to move forward, please let us know. And thank you so much for your time. Thank you to our special guests, and have a great night, everybody.